Hi, it's Kim from Expressions of the Universe with your weekly wisdom for September 8th through the 14th, 2019. And we're coming up on the full harvest moon in Pisces on Saturday, September 14th, or depending on where you live in the world, Friday, September 13th, Friday the 13th. I know that the timing on this is 12:33 Eastern Standard Time, but of course, anything east of the East Coast, it will occur on the 14th as well. Anything west of the East Coast, it will be on September 13th. And I only bring that up because somebody was talking to me this morning about that. And so I kind of wanted to clarify that you really have to pay attention to the time zones. So this week, I'm going to make this a really short and simple weekly wisdom, I think, because I do want to answer the remaining questions in the Ask Me Anything Q&A. I'll have to do a separate video for that, and my bangs keep getting in my eyes. I did pull a couple of cards, but I need to let you know that I'm traveling for business for the next couple of weeks, and I'm really, really busy. I'm busy, booked for at least through November, pretty much, as far as readings are concerned. So it's super busy, and I need to pare back on some of the social media. I will schedule posts for Facebook. I can't talk. I'll try and get some things out on Instagram, but I will update the link tree so that you can get the links. Be sure to subscribe to YouTube and click the bell so you'll get notifications if I do post any videos. And I'm traveling to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and I heard it's pretty cold there right now. It's cold here on the East Coast in the Philadelphia suburbs following Hurricane Dorian. Weather was horrible yesterday. The wind was crazy, but we only got the outer bands. I only live about 50 to 56 miles from the coast, and so we did get a lot of that precipitation. Hopefully all of you fared well and there wasn't any damage or anything or power outages. Checked in on some of my friends down in the Carolinas, and they were okay. Friends in Florida, they were okay. So hopefully those prayers worked. So this full moon, it is the full harvest moon. It's so important for all of us to really cleanse body, mind, and spirit, physical. My closets are a freaking mess, at least this one here. I need to do the garage. I need to do the pool shed. I need to close down the pool. I've got yard work to do, and I really just want to take a nap. So, we'll see how that goes. But I really think this is a quiet, contemplative week, especially another question that was brought up is the fact that the moon goes void of course, at 12:33 Eastern Standard Time, AM, Saturday, September 14th, which is the exact apex of the full moon. So I really think no matter what time zone you're in, the moon will go void course at that exact time. That's something that's not typical. This has prompted me to do more research about void of course moons because it's like we're offline during the void course, and it's the period between when the moon is leaving one sign and entering another. I always thought that it was that 29th degree before the 0 degree of the next sign. However, this full moon is at 21 degrees, so I'm not sure why the void is so long. But with it being in Pisces, I have to caution once again, we're going to feel really like out of sorts, inconsistent, detached from physical reality. We're going to be like really airy-fairy, living up like in our woohoo mind, disconnected for sure. So we got to be really careful about what we're doing Friday night into this full moon. Be careful about drinking and other substances because that kind of puts you in that state anyway. And so no drinking and driving, no drugging and driving, be careful of your prescription medicines or otherwise. Luckily I'll probably be sleeping, so that'll be fine. Maybe I'll have some really great dreams. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. The sun will be opposing Neptune this week, so we're going to feel kind of funky and floaty all week. And I think that's why it's really good for it to be a quiet, contemplative week. We're writing our full moon wish lists. Full moons are typically a really great time of change, transition, letting go of things that are no longer working, and preparing for the new. So you don't want to do anything new really on the void course moon, unless of course it is, like I've said before, some sort of moon ritual or moon ceremony. Like I will be doing fire ceremony on Friday, September 13th. Because it may be the last one I get to, because I won't go out in the freezing cold winter. It's too cold and I don't like to do them indoors. All right, I think that's kind of all I have to say about that. Hopefully maybe I'll get a blog out about it, and I really do want to address the void of course moons, but I'm doing some more research on that. Maybe I will be able to record, I'm looking at my calendar, the astro calendar, record a pick your own for the full moon and schedule that for Wednesday. Since I won't be here, I won't have access to my devices or anything, being that I'm traveling, and I don't know what the internet will be like in the UP, Upper Peninsula of Michigan. So I got to set up and schedule everything. If you comment me, thank you. And I'll get back to you next week. I mean, like the next week, the week of the 16th. And because I may not be able to. The one thing I want to point out, I know that I've been going through a lot of transformation and changes. Ravens and crows have been so predominant. Several weeks ago, I mentioned in one of these videos that I had like a murder of hundreds of crows and ravens flying over my head while I was standing in the middle of an empty parking lot. And it was so amazing. I tried to record it, but it turned out that it was on selfie mode. And I recorded myself the whole time. And then when I flipped the camera around, I only got the tail end of it. So it wasn't meant to be, but I really wanted to show you. I've never seen that many in a really long time. And several weeks prior to that, a peer medium had said to me, "Ooh, pay attention to the raven, pay attention to the crows." And I'm like, okay, well, they're always around me. But in the weeks following, leading up to this week, I've been finding so many raven feathers, it's ridiculous. And that's pretty rare. I'll see feathers here and there, and I always pick them up and save them. A lot of dove feathers for some reason, hawk feathers. But specifically the last couple of weeks, raven feathers. And you really can't see how beautiful and iridescent this is, but it's like a navy blue and purple indigo. Maybe I can catch this in the light. It is so gorgeous. I'm so honored. However, this came up. This was basically like a gift. There is a murder of, and by the way, a flock of crows or ravens are called a murder. So don't think that I'm like speaking about murder. A murder of crows have been hanging out where I park my car at work, at my day job. And one of them left this on my car. So crows, and I've been feeding them. Crows are so super smart, and they will leave humans gifts as a way of saying thank you. Little pebbles, little rocks, little different, a leaf here and there. And this was on my car the other day when I was leaving work, and they were all, over on the side eating the food that I had put out for them. So I thank them. I know that they are watching out. Crows and ravens speak about transformation. They speak about universal magic. They speak about magic from the underworld. They speak about our angels and our loved ones and our guides from the underworld. So I know that they're all around me, and they are all very near. And so pay attention. Pay attention to the ravens and the crows, and you'll know that magic is around you. And even though we're in September, the veil is thinning. It is becoming ever so thin. Since the eclipses in July, then the Lion's Gate, it just continues to get thinner and thinner and thinner. And so leading up to Halloween time or Samhain, this should probably be a very, very spiritual autumn here in the northern hemisphere, spring in the southern hemisphere. And I had a visitation from my grandfather several days ago when I was taking a nap, and I just can't shake the whole feeling. I was in this lucid dream state, kind of sleeping, napping, but I know that it was a visitation by the way it made me feel and the way I'm still feeling. I hardly ever dream about my grandfather. He was one of the people that raised me, so he was pretty much the only father that I ever knew. I loved him dearly, and he showed up, and he was dressed so dapper in bright baby blue pants, a bright pink shirt, a blue matching jacket, and he was wearing a cravat, which is something he never wore. And he was just so perfect. And he had Ray-Ban, like cat's eyes glasses with the green glass, and he had a present. And he told me that it was for my birthday. And I said, really? My birthday was in June. And then when I woke up, I thought, was this for his birthday? Because speaking of this week, his birthday is on September 12th. So I don't know. I feel like he's here. Is he visiting me? Maybe this is a message saying, hey, I'm going to be with you in the Upper Peninsula on my birthday. I don't know. My grandfather was born in 1894, and he lived to be 93 years old. So he's been gone for quite a while, and it was really nice. And one way I know that it wasn't just a dream, but a visitation, his mouth didn't move. Now, everybody around me, I was having conversations with them, but with my grandfather, it was all telepathic. And that's one way we can tell when our loved ones who have crossed over visit us in our dream, especially like if you can't shake the feeling of that dream that you had with them, then it was probably a visitation. And also try and remember when you do have those types of dreams to pay attention to see if their mouth was moving or not, because otherwise then that's your mind just placing them inside your dream. But if they show up in your dream and you're having a telepathic conversation, then it's a visitation. The reason why spirits do this, our loved ones that have crossed over, it's because when you're in your waking state, you're running around trying to take care of getting ready for work, getting ready for school, getting your family ready for work and school, taking care of your animals and your children and your spouses and your partners. Then, if you do work outside of the home, you're rushing off. Or if you're working inside of the home, you're busy taking care of stuff. We just don't have enough time to really sit down and, you know, meditate for hours on end per day. And so sometimes people don't even have a few minutes. They don't take any time to quiet the mind. So, especially if we are distraught and we are grieving and distressed or depressed or anxious, you're not going to pick up the messages from your loved ones. So the best way for them to get a hold of us, of course, is by leaving us little signs that will make us think of them. That's animals and birds and butterflies and coins that we find or numbers that we see, songs on the radio, something on TV, anything that makes you think of your loved one, especially if they haven't been around for a while, is usually them trying to subliminally connect with you. So if you think of somebody who has crossed over just randomly for the first time in a very long while, it's typically them trying to get a hold of you, telepathically, subliminally. But when we are sleeping, we are in such a relaxed, rested state that it's very easy for spirit to come through the veil and get into our subconscious and place themselves or their thoughts in our minds because we're relaxed, we're sleeping. And so sometimes, it may not make sense. They're just popping in to say, hi, I'm thinking of you. Sometimes they're popping in with a warning. You have to decipher the dream or the visitation in some sort of way. And so in my way, I think it was my grandfather popping in to say hello, popping in because he knows his birthday is coming up. And so I think that is what that is. Excuse me. My dog is farting and it's choking me. And she's asleep right next to me. And I know that's absolutely disgusting. But I have to tell you, oh my gosh, we call her Stink Butt Ragamuffin, the new pup, because she is gross. She's eating the same thing that my other dog is eating, and I don't know what is coming out of her. It's horrible. Oh. So anyway, before I end this, I did pick this card, Round and Round, from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck from Colette Baron Reed. This is speaking about cycles, so you could see the secular and the ammonite is on the back of these cards as well. I looked for my ammonite high and low all over this house, and these bangs, I need a hair trim. I can't find the ammonite, and it's not like they're small. Oh gosh, I have hair everywhere. Just got done brushing the dogs. The ammonite is about this big, and I don't know where it is. But anyway, it's a gorgeous card. Round and Round talks about secular thinking. It talks about repeating lessons, not learning your lessons, but it also speaks about, I think with this full moon, is we're completing lessons and we're getting ready to move on to some new lessons, some new paths, big changes coming. This is also a change in perception. So we're thinking back this week, the contemplation. We're thinking back over some past lessons, some past things in our life. I know that I've been feeling extremely sentimental. I finally created an album for my last pup that had passed away, my little Pomeranian Oi, that grieved himself to death over the loss of my golden retriever. I'm still gutted by it, by the way. So my golden's been gone just over a year. My palm has only been gone for 5 months, and I can't believe it's been that long. And I'm gutted by it. I really am. So I'm working through this grief process. And I think that this card, so maybe it's only for me, but I really think it's for the collective. Tracy Goodwin from Transl Treatments had posted a card reading, and I shared it to my Facebook page for anybody. All you had to do was put your name in the post, and she was pulling cards from a different deck from Colette Baron Reed, postcards from heaven, and the grief card came up for me, and it's about dealing with grief and not fully dealing with it. And so I think this is going to be a really good week for me to get away on business travel and get away from everything so that I can process that more. And I was thinking about that this morning, and how maybe my business, Expressions of the Universe, and doing readings and making videos and posting cards and cute posts and all different things, writing blogs, I think maybe that is my way of not dealing with my grief, because I keep myself so busy that I don't have time to think about it. I don't have time to grieve. And I really have been working on my grief, and I've been allowing myself to feel the feels and process the emotions. And I spent a good portion of the morning just sobbing so deeply, because I really miss them. I miss my life that I had with them. So I don't know if any of you are also going through any of that. And maybe that's why I'm becoming so emotional, because the whole planet is grieving. I just feel, that it's been a really, really difficult year. But we're getting out of that cycle. That's what this card is about. So we got to process it. We got to go through that cycle and filter out all of the emotions and allow them to filter down and filter through. So I picked an animal totem card. Owl spirit comes up, and this goes perfectly with the round and round, because it is about a higher perception. It's higher wisdom. It's about looking at things differently, looking at them from a new angle, looking at them with a fresh mindset, so that you can move on and you can process and move on. And then the crystal or stone I chose from these are all Colette Baron Reed decks, by the way. Animal Spirit, this is Crystal Spirit, and Mookaite came out. And this is one of my favorite stones. I'm wearing a Mookaite bracelet, but I have some really great pieces. Mookaite is about grounding, so it's perfect for this week with the Grand Trine in Earth, with so many planets, the outer planets being in Virgo, which is an Earth sign, the sun being in Virgo, which is Earth. We're steeped in Earth. We have to get grounded. We're realigning our base chakras. This is perfect for the base, the sacral, base or root chakra, sacral chakra, and solar plexus chakra. So these are just fantastically, beautifully colored. It's one of my favorite mookites. They come in so many different colors. It's a jasper. And another reason why I really love this is because in the Upper Peninsula, there is jasper and copper everywhere. So I'm hoping that maybe I can get my coworkers to go to, I think it's called McLean State Park or McCain State Park, and comb the beaches with me for some jasper, because I want to bring it back. I love this piece because of all the different colors in it. I love the reds, the grays, the creams, the yellows. But the mookaite It's about regaining personal power, taking back your power. It is about the new perception. I think all of these cards went really well with each other. And I'm going to try and post a post about all three cards for Monday, September 9th on Facebook and Instagram. And that will be the only card post that I will post this week because I don't have time and I won't have access to my computer. Anyway, I'm going to work on your questions from the Ask Me Anything Q&A. I have, I think, 15 questions to wrap up. I'll be pulling cards. I'll be looking at people's birth charts to answer their questions. Some of the questions are really, really tough because they're extremely personal to the person and health related, and they are very tough because, you know, I'm not a doctor, so I'm only going to pick up what I see in their chart and maybe cards. Some questions are easier to answer when they're just a general question. So stay tuned for the next segment of the Ask Me Anything Q&A, where I will be posting everybody's questions, and continue to send me questions because I love that. You've all had some really wonderful questions, and I truly appreciate that. So happy full moon, happy full harvest moon blessings. Get yourselves all cleaned out, body, mind, and spirit. Clean out those closets, the garage, your car, your body. Got to put better food in my body. I got to get exercising more. Enough chatter. Until next week. I'll see you later. Bye. Oh, by the way, if you like this video, please share it with your friends. Be sure to subscribe. Check me out at Facebook, Instagram, and at expressionsoftheuniverse.com, and of course here on YouTube.